are now listening to Lauer Road Radio.
Let's get it.
What?
At Tanagra when the walls fell, this is Dan Owings coming at you another time for Lauer Road Radio with my co-host, as always, Jason.
Yeah. Can you see that?
On the other side of the room. No, the light's in the way.
Shoot.
Can you put it on the other side of the thing?
Wait, hold on. I just reset.
Jason is here.
Can you
my
see
co-host, as always. Yeah, I can see that. He's on the other side of the room. I decided to mix things up, and everyone thinks it's a good idea. We're all on the same page.
No.
Everybody likes it. I came in, I sat down here, and I thought, you know what? Let's just see what it... And the Ray Grogan seat, it's the Ray Grogan Memorial. Not that he's dead, but the Ray Grogan Memorial seat.
You get a little plaque for him
there.
there.
Yeah, a little plaque, in memory...
Reserved for...
In memory of Ray Grogan, who's still very alive.
Episodes 136 and
but we just like to remember him, Rest in peace. One day when he does die, because we're all going to die.
Everybody dies.
Even Ray.
Yeah.
Jesse is here doing what he does.
Yep. Mustache looking good.
Yep. It's really coming along. And Preston is not here. He's got other things to take care of. Stella's on the ones and zeros. Jason, I fixed a lawnmower today.
You don't have a yard.
Well, okay, here's the thing.
And you don't know how to fix things.
Well, but both of those things.
Strikes 1 and 2 right there.
But not 3. Okay? All right? I still can make contact here.
Okay.
So, first of all, I don't have a yard.
You foul tipped a couple.
You're right. I can foul tip a couple. I don't have a yard. But in his infinite wisdom, the pastor of the church that I go to thought that I should mow, even though he doesn't really.
You should mow your yard, or
I should mow the church.
What?
Yes, and I'm like, what are you doing? What am I paying you for? And he thought that I should be the one that mows.
He's in there drinking coffee and reading the Bible.
I don't know. Definitely drinking coffee, but
he probably doesn't.
I don't know what he does or what he doesn't do. To be honest with you, so I don't know. I get a lot of stupid videos from him at different times and things, so I don't know what he's doing. But either way, he thought that I should mow.
He's texting Joe Jr. all day.
Yeah, I know. See, this guy.
I ignore our pastor's phone calls and texts
As
for
you
that
should,
reason specifically.
Honestly, you should just text back, like, get to work.
Yeah.
But,
do something.
Just do something. So he thought, but, I was like, you know what? I'm going to mow it because this church is not about you, guy. I'm going to be here long before you're
do the right
long
thing.
After you're gone.
Yeah.
We're going to get rid of that guy. We're going to bring in somebody else. Anyway, so do the first mower, the spring, pull the thing, and it's nothing. I got nothing.
Yeah.
So I go to YouTube, as you do, learned how to take it apart, clean out the carburetor, put it back together, start it up, boom. It was great. It was wonderful. I really fixed something. But now YouTube thinks I'm a small engine mechanic because I literally watched one video. I didn't even scroll. I was like, I clicked, I don't know, push lawnmower won't start. Watched the first video for 4 minutes until I got the hang of it. Yeah. That's all I did. And now I am just getting barraged with small engine repair videos. So I think I'm going to open up a side business, multiple streams of income.
When did you search for this?
Today.
Okay. I got the strangest, this is not a joke or I don't know. This lady, her name's Lizzie on Twitter. She sent me a message today, said, do you know anything about mechanics? So I don't know.
Friend of the show?
Like recently, I don't know how much she watches.
Well, I'm a mechanic now.
Well, I'll have to tell her you're the guy.
If she needs a push lawnmower,
Troy Bell,
a Troy Bell Briggs and Stratton engine push lawnmower, taken apart and the carburetor cleaned.
Yeah,
I'm the guy. I could do it today, right now, if I needed to. So, anyway, that's how I'm doing today. But we didn't come here to talk about lawnmowers.
No,
we came here to talk about archaeology.
Well, hold on. I have a question real quick.
Sure.
This just reminded me. Did you get any ads on your phone for Summer's Eve? No,
I didn't. So apparently they're not spying on us. I know. I was kind of looking forward to it.
I just don't know if Summer's Eve is that interested in, You
don't think they're listening in?
I think they assume that if you want their product, you're going to search them out. That's what I think.
You think it's a waste of money to send me advertising for it, is what you're saying.
You never watched that skit that I sent you, did you? The ESPN.
Yeah, I probably did.
No, you didn't.
You didn't.
I think I did.
Watch it.
I'll send him anything.
It's brilliant. It is brilliant.
I'm pretty sure I watched it.
But we came here to talk about talk about.
Archaeology.
I'm not used to being in this seat, so I'm thrown off by just a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Whoever suggested it, bad idea.
I told you that from the very beginning.
I know, but it seemed like a good idea. It seemed like it was going to be fun.
No.
Variety is the spice of life. That's how I live my life.
Well, I wrote this down.
Yeah.
Secrets are a way to keep a marriage fresh.
Fresh, sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's my little
Okay.
bit of advice
Just
for the week.
Pack that away.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about archaeology.
Specifically, the Joe Rogan variety.
Yes. So I am not particularly educated in archaeology. I'm
really?
not particularly interested in it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's never been an interest of mine. Every once in a while you come across an article that says, hey, they found Noah's Ark again or something. And you're like, I'm going to read this thing. And you find out, nah, I don't think you did. But Joe Rogan, a 4.5 hour episode of Joe Rogan popped up on my thing. I was like, what is this? And I saw it was Graham Hancock, who I know you like.
I love
He's
Graham
the guy
Hancock.
that did the Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I think it's called like archaeology.
I thought it was like
Ancient archaeology.
Ancient archaeology.
Yeah, something like
it's
that.
It's about an ancient civilization.
So what his basic claim is?
Yeah, lay out. You're the Graham Hancock expert.
I've watched a lot of Graham Hancock.
Okay.
So his basic bit or his basic line bit. It's not a bit. It's a comedy bit.
Okay.
Now his basic deal. I don't know how to say it. I'm not good with words.
Sure.
So I use the best words I know. And sometimes my vocabulary is not as robust.
Why say lot words when little do good? Or whatever the thing is.
Double plus.
Graham Hancock. What's his deal?
What's his deal? Here's his deal. He believes that modern day archaeology is brainwashed to reproduce the same results over and over, which is what we look at as the modern pace of man.
So they're not open to new ideas.
Right. So basically 14,000 years ago,
Whoa.
according to modern archaeology, about 14,000 years ago is when civilization started to launch.
Post some sort of cataclysmic event.
Cataclysmic event. And so, and everybody agrees it's some type of worldwide flood.
Something happened.
It was really bad. So he believes
Okay.
that all of that is true, except prior to that worldwide flood or cataclysm or whatever it is, that there was another civilization that was modern, that was prosperous, that had technology and all this other stuff. And everybody else, literally everybody else, says that that's absurd. At best, prior to that, would have been hunter and gatherers at most.
Right.
And so he's made multiple claims that there is this civilization that existed.
Yeah.
And he's trying to show you through evidence, archaeology evidence, that he's right.
So, and
Does that make sense?
Sure, as much sense as it could. So he's been on Joe Rogan before.
Multiple times.
Joe's a big fan.
Yeah.
Joe likes to talk to him.
I think Joe Rogan said Graham Hancock might have been his first real guest outside of like his friends and comedians. Like his first real
and
guest.
Joe is into this ancient civilization stuff. He's interested.
I think Joe is a curious person.
Curious.
And I think he would find any topic curious. He's intrigued by things.
Yeah, intriguing minds want to know.
Yeah.
And he's one of the most intrigued.
So. This might sound stupid, but I think it's true. I think he's the modern day Art Bell.
I think he's more than that.
Oh, for sure. But what a modern day take on it.
I see.
Because he does a lot of these interviews and talks with people that are on the fringe.
Sure.
And that's Art Bell was all fringe.
Right.
Joe Rogan's a little bit more mainstream. But he's not afraid to talk to people with weird ideas.
And he wants to hear him out.
Yeah.
So Joe likes the guy, and so, but this guy is enemy number one of big archaeology, whatever that is. Okay, so apparently there is an academic world of archaeology, and these guys all kind of agree with one another, and they get together with their elbow patches and Indiana Jones hats, and they talk about how Graham Hancock is a loon and he's crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well, Graham Hancock is also a big believer in the DMT and psychedelics and stuff like that. So that's also a knock against him. I don't see that as a knock.
Okay.
But
So-
but that's part of the criticism.
That's part of the criticism. Well, they didn't bring that up in the episode that I remember.
No.
Okay. So, Joe, one of the things that I learned from this episode is that Joe Rogan, now I've always kind of thought this, but now I definitely think it. Joe needs to, every single time there's a presidential election, have both people on, and he needs to moderate it. He was very good.
Very good.
I thought he was very even-handed, even though you could tell he was a Graham Hancock guy.
He challenged Graham
If
on
Graham
some
said
stuff.
a couple things or was seeing things that he wasn't seeing, he would be like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So even though he was a Graham Hancock guy, I felt like he was very even-handed.
Yeah.
Flint,
So the other thing is, like on a presidential debate, what makes Trump so good in those situations is there's a crowd.
Yeah.
And he's playing to the crowd. He makes
Right.
people laugh.
Right.
And they're like, I remember the big one was Megyn Kelly said, Mr. Trump, you've called women fat and ugly or whatever. He goes, only Rosie McDonald, you know? And that was a funny line, and the crowd laughs.
Right.
You know? He can't do that in a Joe Rogan
No.
format.
No.
And
Joe
so-
might laugh at him.
Joe might laugh, but I think it comes across as smug.
Sure.
So in a room with 3 people, that should be it. No more.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Jamie, his like tech guy.
Yeah.
But it should be Joe Rogan, Joe Biden,
Okay.
Trump, and honestly Kennedy.
Yeah.
I'd put all 3 of them together.
So I'm going to say we're about ready to talk about this.
Now you still don't care about archaeology.
No. And I'm going into this conversation completely blind. I have
'Cause you know
no dog
nothing.
in the fight.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
Yeah.
I want to learn. I'm here to learn. I'm like Joe. Without the pot and the money
muscles.
and the muscles and this is the general success and the self-confidence. But other than those things, Joe and I are very similar.
What about your comedic talent?
I feel like put in a different environment, I could make it work. But we have the same haircut, so we got that going for us.
That's true.
Anyway, I'm going into this completely blind. I have no dog in the fight, and I'm just interested. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so I got a lot of thoughts. So if you would like to, as you're listening to this episode, maybe you want to stop listening to this episode and go listen to 4.5 hours of Joe Rogan talking to these 2 archaeologists. And maybe that'll be more entertaining to you. Or maybe you could just listen to us talk about it and then go back. Or whatever. Or shut it off. It's a free country. You
Do
can
what
do
you
whatever
want.
Why are you even listening to us? Why do you... What's your deal? Okay, so let me just say, first of all, Flint Dibble was not ready for this.
No.
He was ready to talk about archaeology. He was not ready for a debate.
Well, the whole show was a debate.
I know, but he did not understand what the deal was.
He's not a debater.
Graham knew what the deal was.
Yeah.
Okay, Graham coming in, he knew that this wasn't necessarily about the facts. This was an emotional.
Graham was worked up.
Graham was worked up.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't blame him.
Yeah.
For what he was worked up about. Okay, so Flint was definitely not ready. Graham is like one of the things that Graham is technically illiterate, obviously, because he was like, they both had their laptops there, and he was like, can I put my thing up on the TV? And Jamie was like, you're not hooked in. And he was like, well, how do I get it up there? And Jamie's like, you could just send it to me. And he was like, well, how do I do that? Yeah. He's like, well, you can airdrop it to me. And he's like, what's airdrop? And I was like, oh gosh, this guy.
Yeah.
So, and he kept on being like, well, I'm 73 years old. He goes, I'm using old tech. And one of my favorite parts of the episode.
You're talking the other guy. He's not 73.
No, Graham.
No, yeah.
Graham said I'm 73. He's like, oh, I'm using old tech and I don't know what I'm doing. And he says that. He goes, oh, I'm sorry about this. This is old tech is what he says. And Joe goes, you have a MacBook, which I thought was great. I thought that was great. So another thought too, Flint, you're a little too proud of your dad, don't you think?
Yeah.
My dad was in archaeology. I mean, he was talking about this guy's dad was an archaeologist, and he wanted us to know. He didn't get 30 seconds into his spiel without talking about his dad. When my dad surveyed the, cliffs of, the whatever, he developed this, and he was like, come on, man. You're like, stop talking about your dad. We get it. Your dad was an archaeologist. You're proud of him. It was
which also explains why he's brainwashed, because he grew up believing the stuff that his dad.
Exactly. He also, so Flint, his problem, he's got a tone problem.
Yeah.
So Flint,
he's also got an image problem. He had that hat on and those headphones like behind his head.
Yeah.
And his shoulders looks like he's sitting up like this, and he keeps on turning.
You immediately don't want to like him.
No.
But we could get over that.
Yeah.
If he didn't show up immediately talking down to everyone.
Yeah.
He was like, and Joe I thought was great, and Graham I thought was pretty nice to let him open up. The guy opens up with 10 minutes about talking about archaeology, and this is how we do it. And he was talking down to Joe, who's more successful than him, and he's a really smart guy. And this other guy who has spent, even though he's not in the community, has spent his whole life in archaeology.
Yeah.
He was talking down to them the entire time.
Yeah.
And it was like, it immediately made you go, like, what's this guy's deal?
Yeah.
He kept on saying things like, okay, right, okay, so right.
And he would do this thing where he chuckled as a dismissive.
Oh, listen, the laughing needed to stop.
Yeah.
So here's it's like, I went into it, like I said, completely open-minded.
I bet you he lives in a loft.
He might live in a loft. He's the type. So he was extremely dismissive in a way that I don't think was helpful.
Yeah.
You got to understand, you're on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Right.
Joe has had Graham on multiple times.
Right.
90% of the people that are listening to you are already on Graham's side. You come in talking down to Graham and talking down to Joe and talking down to all of us with this laughing, dismissive, if you were an archaeologist, then you would understand, but how can I explain it to you? You know, like, it was really obnoxious. All right, so I felt like the biggest blow that Graham got on him was the fact that this guy is calling Graham a racist.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we went from archaeology to racist.
And I looked up Flint's X profile, and this is something that he posted. He said in his new Netflix documentary, and he quotes documentary, by the way, Ancient Apocalypse, Graham Hancock has declared war on archaeologists. His rhetoric sows distrust in experts, and Atlantis conspiracy theories promote white supremacy. So
he's saying Atlanteans are white.
So here's
is what he's trying to say, right?
Yeah, honestly, which is hilarious.
Well,
so,
first of all, how would anybody know?
I know.
You would know. We've not found Atlantis. Mm-hmm. There's no evidence. There's nothing to dig up. He's
the more racist one, by the way.
Yeah.
Because he talks down to... about these indigenous people, he talks down to them. You know, but one thing I know about any kind of intellectual debate, the moment you start calling the other person racist and a white supremacist, it's because you don't want to actually have a conversation.
Right.
And like, that tells me everything that I need to know about you.
And that guy was trying to get that documentary to be, instead of like a science category, but a science fiction category.
Yeah.
You know, like it's made up.
Right. That's what he was trying to do.
Right.
So, and that's where they approached Netflix and try to do all this.
What are you doing?
What do you care?
What do you care?
It makes you look small
and desperate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you are the authority, what do you care about Graham?
Right.
If Graham Hancock is an absolute loon, let him say whatever he's want. If you're the expert, be the expert.
Well, this goes back to the free speech stuff with everything that's happened over the last 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. I don't care what it is. Pick like was it hydroxychloroquine?
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Everyone knows hydroxychloroquine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ivermectin, you know, all these things that people would talk about and immediately get shut down.
Yeah. You can tell this guy is woke. His Twitter profile says my pronouns are he, him. Like, you know, like this. This is an academic. He's living in the academic
Flint guy.
world. Yeah,
I'm already programmed.
I thought maybe we could name this episode just to kind of see if we can. I don't know. Flint Dibble is a race baiting pseudo intellectual weenie. How do you like that?
Okay. I mean, it's gonna be hard to fit on a little thumbnail, but I'll squeeze it on there.
The guy is, and I hate the phrase, and he said this multiple times. He would say, but now we know.
Yeah, stop.
I hate that phrase. Anytime a scientist says, now we know, like, hey, listen, moron. Hey, up here, okay? Did you know the same scientists were saying that 100 years ago?
Well, just in the 1970s, Leonard Nimoy did a whole documentary on we know that climate change is real and we are approaching a new ice age. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And within 20 or 30 years, glaciers will start coming down through
now,
and we know
that
this
phrase. Well, we used to think this,
but now we know.
Now we know.
You don't know anything.
I hate that phrase. Yeah. That's in a world in which basically almost impossible to get very many concrete answers. You should not be saying the phrase, now we know.
Right.
You can say, now we think.
Yeah.
You can say, we used to think this, and now we have strong evidence that makes us believe X.
Right. Yeah. Based on A, B, and C, we now think this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there were some things that he said that I thought, these are really legitimate things. And I feel like if he'd have just gone into it with a different tone, and if he'd have gone into it and from minute one, so Graham wanted him to say, like Graham's thing was like, I just want you to admit that there's a possibility that you're wrong.
Right.
There's no reason why he shouldn't say that.
Well, to me, it goes. This is why I love this topic because it's across all subject matter. So, like, for someone to say, we know for sure there is no Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Or we know for sure Loch Ness Monster is not real. We know for sure there is no God. We know for sure that there was no previous civilization. You don't know. You don't know jack.
You don't know.
You don't know nothing.
Yeah. Mathematicians know some things. We know 2 + 2 is 4, right? There's some things that we can know. But when you're talking about these kind of things, you
don't
can't
know.
say that phrase. So if he'd have just come in with a humble attitude and said, listen, I have spent my whole life, I have spent dedicated to this field of archaeology. It matters as much to me as anything matters to anybody. It's part of my family. It's part of my DNA. It's who I am, And I feel very strongly about this, and I have lots of reasons why I don't think Graham's evidence is very compelling.
Right.
But, sure, there's lots of stuff that I don't know, and maybe it is possible. Maybe I could be wrong, and I love to learn that I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong and I want to learn the truth, then I know. If he'd have done that, it would have deflated Graham knew that he was not willing to do this. Now, I didn't love Graham either, because I felt like there were lots of times where he was skirting around issues that I thought were actually important, and I felt like the stuff that Joe brought up was legitimate, and I don't think he was completely willing to bend as much either. But he admitted at the end of the episode that part of his strong, way that he was coming out of it was just a response to all these people on the other side calling him a white supremacist.
Right.
Because that's like, well, okay, you just ended my career, guy.
Right.
Right. Like, if people actually believe that, So anyway, it was really fascinating. It was very interesting. I don't, like I said, have a horse in the. I actually tend to disagree with both of them. Or I don't feel the need to agree with either of them. Maybe that's a better way to say it.
I do think that, like, in general, because I've watched all of this stuff, and Graham Hancock, everything. I do think Graham Hancock is correct. I think that civilization has gone on post-flood, and there was a civilization pre-flood. As far as the timing and the dates and all that stuff, I think they have that wrong, but that's okay. I mean, everybody has stuff that they believe that is not accurate.
There's a ton of stuff that we don't know.
Yeah. And history is rewritten so many times.
Yeah.
I mean, so many times.
Yeah.
And so what we believe about, pick a historical figure. There's stuff about that person that we believe that is not true.
Yeah.
It just is.
And if anything, this Flint Dibble guy, he should love the fact that Graham Hancock is bringing light to his field.
Yeah.
He's bringing attention to it because, dude, you're not making documentaries that millions of people are watching.
Right.
So
he's jealous because he doesn't have a Netflix doc.
I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was just very dismissive. The laughing was just like, they'd ask him a question. It's like, I don't know, man. That's not my field. I don't know. He was just extremely.
Well, what was killing me, the one part that kills me is they were showing the underground structure.
So I didn't watch it.
Okay. So, well, they were showing this underground water feature off the coast of Japan. And I mean, it's right angles and 90 degrees and plateaus.
Looks man-made.
I mean, 100% it's man-made. I don't doubt that for a second.
Yeah.
Right? And they have above ground versions of this in other places.
Yeah.
They look identical.
Yeah.
And so they're showing this Dibble guy, and he's like, I don't know. I mean, you don't know what this. I've seen a lot of strange things in nature.
Yeah.
Like, but this is not that. And that's where Joe Rogan is like, but could you imagine a scenario in which this might be that? And he's like, no, it's not that. Like, what do you mean? No, it's not that. It's probably that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
The problem is it goes against his narrative, right?
Well, it's a confirmational bias. People want to believe what they already believe.
Yeah.
And so they're seeking out information to double down on their current belief.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's my exhaustive breakdown of the Joe Rogan podcast.
And once again, you care nothing about archaeology.
No.
It was just an interesting conversation.
It was.
Yeah.
While you guys have been talking about this, I've been going through Dent Flibble's
Dent Flibble.
his ex profile.
Yeah.
He is a douche.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, this guy is insufferable. Every single post. As an archaeologist, as a serious archaeologist, not a pseudo archaeologist. That's how I imagine he sounds.
Well, so here's the other problem with the both of them is Graham has a great voice.
Yeah.
He's got this accent. It's just like, I want to listen to this guy talk. The moment Flint starts talking, he sounds like a chipmunk.
Yeah.
And he's annoying.
Yeah.
Well, which is not his fault that his voice is the way that it is.
I'd put him in a munchkin category.
Oh, okay. No, that's better. Yeah, he's part of the Lollipop Guild, for sure. Yes.
Follow the yellow
So
road.
you feel like his X profile confirms the things that I'm saying.
yes. Like, he is he's terrible. And, like, I hate everything about him. I do. I really do.
Yeah.
Can we call this podcast We Hate Flint Dibble?
I don't know, hate.
Oh, no. Go through his ex profile a little bit further. You'll learn.
I make it a policy not to hate a person. So, but I don't mind I came up with this on purpose. Flint Dibble is a race-baiting pseudo-intellectual weenie.
Yeah, that checks out.
That's not so bad.
Yeah. Well, it's accurate, too.
I think he's all of those things. I think he wants to... Listen, pseudo-intellectual, that might not be 100% true because he obviously has spent...
He's read some books.
He's read some books. He's been to some schools and some degrees. When he was like super getting excited about agriculture, and he was like, Joe, what do you think? Why do you think it's like that, Joe? And I'm like, Joe does not like you doing this.
No, because Joe's like, I don't know.
Joe's like, man, just tell me. Like, I don't want to. I'm not one of your 18-year-old students that's looking up to you like you're Indiana Jones. Like, just tell me. You know? It was he had the tone completely wrong.
Yep.
They'd have been better to like find somebody in their community that could debate better because he's a bad debater.
I'm just making myself mad.
Yeah, stop looking at his profile.
All right, so we can move on from that. If you're listening, Joe, we'd love to have you on or be on. Flint Dibble, you can just,
If
yeah.
Flint sent us a message on Twitter and said, "Hey guys, listen to the show. I want to come on and make my case." Would you?
No.
Sure.
No.
Sure, I'd love to.
No.
There's no way he would because of everything we just said and everything we're about ready to say.
I would talk to him.
It would be you and him in a room alone because none of the rest of us would want to be here.
No. So like we would I don't think he would last long because
he would walk out.
We'd be on a mission to annoy him.
Yeah.
Like
and we would win.
Yes.
He would love some of our racial jokes.
Yeah.
Every other tweet on here is about everyone's racist because
he's race baiting.
It's
to be like ancient civilizations are racist and they promote white supremacy. What a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah.
I mean, are there racists that believe in ancient whatever? Yeah, there probably are. There are also probably racists that don't. I mean, there are racists that like Ohio State football. Does that mean I'm supposed to be like, well, I can never root for Ohio State again because there's racists?
Do this. Define racist.
Okay, this is good. Define racist.
Because I would argue that everybody is a little bit racist.
The assumption that another person is of lesser quality, either physically, mentally, something, solely based upon their skin color / nationality. Ethnicity. That would be my definition of racism.
That some people, that you think that you're better than other people.
Purely based upon ethnicity.
Based on ethnicity.
Now,
would you say...
Yeah.
Because I think that black people are superior to white people on the basketball court.
Yeah, that's not a thought. I mean, that's not an opinion.
That's fact, right?
That's fact.
But is that racist?
Yeah, so Flint Dibble would say that's racist, probably.
But that's not racist.
But it's not racist.
But that's what I'm saying is like I don't know.
Does it make me racist that I tend to root for white basketball players?
Maybe.
Does it make a black guy racist if he's rooting for a black NHL player?
Yes.
You think so? No, because I don't think it does, and I don't think anybody would think it does. But if for me saying, "Oh yeah, I want Luka Doncic to be the greatest," or Larry Bird's my favorite basketball player, it's like of course I associate with him, and of course a black kid who liked hockey for whatever reason that could be, would associate with the black hockey player.
But you could make
and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I agree with you, but that's what I'm saying. You can make the argument the only reason why you like that person is their skin color. That's it. Now, you could argue that the pros and cons of that.
Yeah.
I think that I don't have a problem with
it. But that doesn't it's not that because in my definition of racism, it's not like I think I'm better because I'm white. It's like I actually just think it's cool that a white guy is good at basketball because he's like an underdog.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Because the black people are better.
Generally
at basketball.
In basketball, yeah, they are better.
Yeah.
And white people generally are better at I would say cross-country skiing, but I don't know how many black people are getting into that sport. It's a pretty Nordic sport. But, I mean, it just is what it is. Yeah. Indian people are generally better at chess. Russian people are also better at chess. Does that, whatever. It just is what it is.
Yeah, Donald Trump, he's playing 4D chess right now.
4D chess? Is that real?
It's a politics.
Okay.
Like he's 8D. Some people say 8D
He's playing chess and everyone else is playing checkers. And Joe Biden playing tiddlywinks. So anyway, so there it is. He also called him misogynistic. Is this misogynistic, Jason? Do you know what misogynistic means? You are misogynistic, but I don't know that you know what it is.
I think it's something like sexist. Is that correct?
I think the inference is it's specific sexism from a man toward women. You assume that men in general are better than women.
Yes.
Yeah.
At most things.
You know what? I honestly, I want to disagree with you.
Not all things. And case by case scenario, one girl could be better at another guy at something.
Sure. A single female could be better than a single male at basketball.
Well,
But if you lined up every man against every woman or the top 100 men against the top 100 women,
clean their clock.
It wouldn't even be close.
Right.
So that's the better comparison is the top 100 in any given thing, men versus women.
The men are better.
So here's the problem. Nobody wants to talk about this, Jason. A lot of people can admit that men are stronger, faster.
They are.
You would be an idiot. You would be an absolute idiot to say that men are not stronger, faster.
They are.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing.
Across the board.
Across the board. Is there a woman that's stronger than me, faster than me?
Yeah.
Most are. But that's but I'm not a good representative of what a man should be.
You're not peak physical.
I'm a shell of a man.
But if you were to race a shell of a woman,
that's the only kind I would race. I'm really concerned about how many fat women are going to beat me in this half marathon. I know a lot of women are going to beat me.
I was just thinking that.
I don't have a problem with that. It's the fat women that those are the ones that I'm concerned about. You know what I mean?
Anybody larger than you.
I don't have a problem. There will be people larger than me that beat me, and I have a problem with that.
When is this?
It is 9 days from today.
Oh my!
The half marathon. Anyway, nobody wants to talk about this. Okay, but it's the truth, Jason. There has never and probably will never be a women's chess champion.
I don't believe that.
They're not in the top 100, man.
I just don't believe it.
You think you just have seen the Netflix movie? That's what
Queen's Gambit.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's
she
what
was really good.
She was great.
She could do it on the ceiling.
It's a fictional.
She'd lay down in bed and watch it.
I saw the movie.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's fiction.
What?
Women,
but it's based on a true story.
Women don't beat guys in chess.
Not
because they're not playing. So what is that?
Logic.
You think men are more logical?
Yeah.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah. Women are more emotional. Across the board.
Yeah. So what does that emotion make them better at?
Empathy, sympathy, loving on people.
Okay. Do you think women are better artists than men? Because I feel like if you took...
Oh, I think it depends on the artistry, on the
So like,
What are they creating?
like arts and crafts, women are better at, but men are better at like painting and things that matter.
Construction paper and like rounded scissors. Like they're really good at that.
Oh, I hate this guy.
Yeah, we just ruined Jesse's night by introducing him to Flint Dibble. You got to listen to the episode.
Did you follow him?
No.
You should follow him
You should
and just
follow him.
troll him. See how fast you can get deleted from him. Like how fast he can block you.
Oh, I would go for one tweet. I would just rip him.
Okay.
We'll tag him when
we should tag him in this episode. I'd love to have him.
What's
on.
his name again?
Flint Dibble.
Flint Dibble. Come on.
If he does come on, I am calling him Dent Flibble the whole episode. Maybe I will come, and that's the only reason for it. So Dent Flibble.
Dent Flibble. That's pretty good.
So you say your dad was an archaeologist?
What, like Indiana Jones?
Like, he has the whole thing in here about Indiana
He
Jones
wants
and
to
what
be,
he wants
yeah.
to see in the new movie.
Okay. All right, guy.
More anti-racism.
So, anyway, I'm not trying to. We are on the record as a show. We're very pro woman.
I'm definitely pro woman. I might be more pro woman than pro man.
I'm definite. I prefer women over men.
Yeah.
100%.
For almost everything.
Yes. Yes.
This room is
Something's-
75%
Something's
pro women.
Something's definitely.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
some things that's not even close. There are some things
I won't even consider.
I won't even. Honestly, But here's
We'll let the listener decide what those things are.
it's up to you.
We don't have to
let
dig into
your
it.
imagination wander, but it's not hard to figure out. God made the man, but he formed the woman. I heard a preacher say that one time. His name is Billy Joe Watts. Anyway,
I remember that.
would you have Billy on the show?
Yeah.
He wouldn't come.
No.
So, anyway, along the misogynistic route, I'm getting back into sports. I took a long break, but I'm kind of getting back into it. I watched a lot of the Masters.
Okay.
I've been watching baseball, basketball. I don't care for the women commentators.
No.
They're terrible.
Now, it's like, why did you decide that we need a woman? Like, okay, so I'm watching the Masters, and they've got these 4 ex-golfers or whatever. They're breaking it down, talking about it, and they have a win up there. Now, could that woman absolutely smoke me in golf?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I could spend the next 10 years trying to be the best golfer I could, and I couldn't beat her. Does she know way more about golf than I do? Could she teach me a lot about golf? Absolutely. All of those things are true. Okay? But although I'm very pro-woman,
Yeah.
there is something about, like, sometimes you just want to be with the guys, and you just don't want a chick around.
Just bros being bros.
Just broing out, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when I watch sports, it's like a guy thing, and I don't. It's like they put in the NCAA basketball tournament, they put this female basketball player, I forget her name, Shaniqua something or other, I don't know, and they put her in there. Is that racist?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not.
I liked it, but
I think her name might be Shaniqua.
Yeah, that's not racist.
I don't know. Maybe it's not. But, it's like she's in there. Could she beat me in basketball?
Yeah.
Is she
No.
know more about basketball than I do?
Yeah.
All of those things, of course. But it's like, I just don't want to. I just want guys talking and goofing around and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden she enters it and everybody's like deferential to her. They're always, it's just, it completely ruins the vibe. It's like when you got that guy in your group of friends and he brings his girlfriend to the movie. You're like, guy, what's the deal? Like, we are not, no. Like, now she's here. We can't be, like, idiots anymore. We got to, like, be good because she's here.
we can't
Right?
fart. We
Like, it's
can't
not cool.
talk about farting.
And by the way, I would assume that women want the same thing. And I
Now,
have no problem with that.
Tell me this. NFL, Monday night, where do you fall on Melissa Stark?
Big fan.
Sideline reporter.
Which one is she? I don't
Just
know.
one of the blondes.
She's
She's been around for a while.
I don't remember her.
Yeah.
You know what?
Or Aaron Andrews.
I got a weird thing.
Yeah, Aaron Andrews.
I got a somehow it feels like they can be sideline reporters,
Yeah.
but I don't want them
In the
main
booth.
commentator.
No.
I don't want them in the booth, and I don't want them at the halftime show either.
No.
I don't want them in either one of those spots.
No, but sideline reporter. They
Sideline
asked the coach
reporter.
2 questions right before
yeah.
halftime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask the center. I always like that. That's always like a good shot. She's like, when she's not, you just see the microphone.
Yeah.
She's not even in the shot. She's talking to Wimby.
2 questions. How do you want your sandwich made after this game? And where do you want your laundry put?
Once again, very pro woman as a show.
Super pro.
We got to get to the Netflix suggestion of the week. We are running out of time.
I got stuff.
And
I talked about Graham Hancock a lot.
I knew we would. I had a lot of thoughts. Flint, if you're listening to the show, we're
Dan?
willing. I feel like I could coach him.
Yeah.
If he's going to go back on
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, I'd like to coach him.
I'd coach him too.
I could give him some really good tips that I think would help him.
I could coach him to go to the top one of the mountains.
I'd probably start with testosterone boosters. That's like the first thing I probably tell him to do.
It's like you gotta prove that you're a he/him.
And Jesse, I wish you would stop doing that.
What?
Proving that you're a he.
Oh yeah.
It's like I look over and I'm like, oh gosh, Jesse, I know.
Why do you have your pants now? Is that what you're talking about?
You know,
That's one of the knocks against Steven Crowder, is everybody in the office has seen his.
really?
Yeah. Apparently, he just flashes everybody.
That's not cool.
Now, I haven't.
No.
I don't know that firsthand.
No, but if
It
that's
checks-
true,
it
we're anti that.
It checks out, right? With Steven
feel like
Crowder.
that's-
Yeah, I don't want nothing to.
Steven
Day
Crowder
one
vibe.
orientation. He's like, all right, we got one more thing to take care of.
I don't like that guy.
I don't either.
I didn't like him when everybody liked him, and I was like, I'm not so sure about this guy. But now that his dirty laundry is out, it's like, yeah, I was right about this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm out on a lot of people that I used to be in on. I'm out on Michael Knowles.
Really?
I'm out.
What's
on
wrong with Michael Knowles?
Smarmy. I'm
What?
Catholic too. I'm out on
Ben
the other
Shapiro?
guys. I'm out on Ben Shapiro.
Wow.
I'm out on Jeremy What's His Face.
Jeremy Byrne?
I'm out on the What Is a Woman guy. I'm out on
Matt
Andrew
Walsh?
Clavin.
What?
I'm out on all of
What
them.
about Glenn Beck?
Listen, I've been out on him for a while.
Who are you in on?
Honestly, Jordan Peterson.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. What's your Netflix suggestion of the week?
My Netflix suggestion. Oh, so I gave this suggestion to a friend of the show. He listens. He might have a chance to go back and catch up on a lot of episodes because he recently fell off a roof and broke his back. 3 or 4 vertebrae. And it's Jason, Jess's husband.
Oh man.
Yeah. So he's this just happened 2 or 3 days ago. So
Really?
yeah.
Jeez.
So they're at home. I'm going to go visit them this weekend. But anyways, he's in bed for a while.
fell off a roof.
Fell off a roof. He was on a ladder doing something, and the ladder swung out from underneath him. He was hanging on the gutter, couldn't hold on.
Chevy Chase style.
Chevy Chase style.
I don't want to make light of it, but
No, I mean, well, he's okay. I mean, he's got a long road ahead of him. But anyways, I gave him this suggestion, and I went back and started watching them, and it's fantastic. I knew he would like it. Mantracker. Have you seen this?
I have no idea what this is.
Okay, so Mantracker was produced, it's 25 years old. Might be slightly older. It's on YouTube. It was on the Science Discovery Network for a long time.
Sure.
But full episodes are available on YouTube. And basically, there's a guy on horseback who tracks down 2 contestants. They're given a map, a starting point, and an ending point. They have 35 miles to go, and they have 48 hours to get there. And he starts 5 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
They shoot a flare off, and he starts tracking them.
I like this.
And so he's got to find where the starting point was.
Man is the most exciting game.
Yeah, and so he's got a rope, and he ropes them. And he's
And he drags him through the desert.
he's like, I got you. You're done.
That's awesome.
I've caught you. Or you get off on a horse and just
Do people ever get away from him?
occasionally, yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
And
you
so-
think you could?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've watched a lot of this,
Yeah,
and you
got
should
some-
too.
you got
It's
some tips.
really great.
Where is it?
It's on YouTube.
YouTube.
It's called
Mantracker.
Mantracker.
I'm excited.
It's
about
really
this.
good. And so, one of the things he talks about is he'll look at a dirt path and he'll see, do you see where the dirt is kicked this direction? You see a shoe print, maybe not well defined, but then there's loose dirt behind it. He's like, they're going that direction because you can see the loose dirt. Or there was a big mud puddle, and you can see on the left side the leaves were pushed down. On the right side, the leaves are up. He's like, they went around this puddle, so they didn't leave. And he's like, do you see these leaves? And he'll show you how he's tracking them.
Wow.
It's really good. And he catches them a majority of the time, or they time out.
Does he have Native American blood?
I don't know.
Because I feel like they're really good at that.
He usually has a guide with him that is familiar with the local layout. So he did one in Hawaii.
Yeah.
He's usually in Canada, Rocky Mountains,
Sure.
that area.
Sure.
Really good. It's called Mantracker, available on YouTube. 45 minutes each. It's an easy watch.
Mantracker on
Yeah.
YouTube. All right, my Netflix suggestion of the week is found on HBO's streaming service, which I guess
HBO Max.
I guess it was HBO Max, but now they've just dropped the HBO and it's just Max.
I don't like that.
So I saw somebody tweeted, they're like, HBO Max just dropped HBO and now they are only Max. You're up next, Peacock. I thought that was kind of funny.
I like that.
I knew you would
That's
like
good.
that. That's your. Anyway, it's found on Max or HBO, and it is a mini series. I've seen it. I watched it a long time ago, and I'm rewatching it. It is John Adams starring Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, no.
Oh, you haven't. It's very good. I mean, I really, really like it. I'm also listening currently to a biography of Thomas Jefferson, so like both of these things are like happening at once in my brain, and it's excellent. It's very good. I'm a huge Paul Giamatti fan. He was the right choice for this, unlike Michael Douglas for Ben Franklin. Give me a break. Have I talked about this, didn't I? Okay, so I'm not going to talk about that, but it's called John Adams. It's on HBO. It's a miniseries. I think it's like 6 episodes. Each one's like an hour and a half or something each. I think Tom Hanks produced it. It's really, really good. It's like 20 years old, but it's excellent. I encourage everyone to watch it.
Do you think it's possible for someone with 2 eyes to be able to look at 2 pieces of paper and read them at the same time? Like left eye on this paper, right eye on this paper?
I don't know, man. That's not my area of expertise. That was a Flint Dibble impression, if you didn't know.
Debt flibble.
Isn't that what he would say?
Yeah.
You know, back when my dad studied this, 72
My
years
dad put
ago,
together these models, and honestly, that is a dead-on impression.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Jesse,
want
you
to
watching
say
anything?
that it's
No,
not.
I'm just still on Suits. I'm out of sorts today now.
That's fine.
I
I'm sorry. You should listen to this episode of Joe Rogan. It'll make
might
you super
throw
mad.
my phone through the window.
I'm curious what you would think.
4.5
about the whole
hours.
thing.
It's a long one.
I don't want to upset anybody
Yeah.
who listens to the show,
But you're going to give it a good shot.
but could they really be essential oils if people are living without them?
How essential are these oils?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like the branding.
Well, they did an excellent job with the branding.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
people
they
feel
make
like
you
they're
feel
essential.
Like, listen, this is essential. But I'm
Yeah.
like, but if there's people living without these oils,
Then how essential can
could
it
they be essential?
Yeah.
Maybe we call them. Maybe we need to just call them important oils.
Mm.
You know,
Recommended oils.
really good idea oils, super healthy oils.
Fairly okay oils.
You could call them live longer oils if you
Yeah.
want. There's a lot of things you can call them.
Life enhancement oils.
I'm totally fine with that.
Spend a bunch of money oils.
I'm okay with that. Pyramid scheme oils. If you want to call it that. I wouldn't. Other people have. But I feel like essential oil, I just don't think,
Oh, you just upset Jess.
and I started this by saying I don't want to upset anybody.
Her husband's in bed with a broken back, and you're making fun of her.
Well, if never mind.
I almost said the same thing, but we both,
Yeah.
You caught yourself at the
you went a little further than I did.
Yeah.
But the thought
I
came
did
to
stop
me.
myself.
And that's
You're
and that's
growing.
good. Listen, I listen. That's why I started. I say I don't want to offend anybody, and I'm not trying to offend Jess. But I just, if I gotta be honest, if I'm not,
they can't be that essential if people are
how
living without them.
essential could they be?
They can't be.
That's all.
Yes.
How much time do we have?
We got 4 minutes,
You guys want to talk about
a little less.
the Caitlin Clark chick?
Yeah, we can talk
you
about
heard-
her.
Yeah. So, and it goes back to a little bit what you were saying earlier. So,
She's white.
She's white.
Mhm.
She's very good at basketball.
She is good at basketball.
For a woman.
She could beat you.
She could beat me, but I am fairly convinced that I could beat 80% of the best post players that are women.
Well, you could back
Today.
them down and post them up.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You would enjoy that.
They would enjoy that.
Nobody.
But
nobody,
nobody would enjoy it.
nobody would enjoy that.
But there's all this
get a little sweaty. I'm going to go skins.
yeah, I do that at the Y sometimes. I get
Yeah,
all
I
all
know.
oiled up, and
Listen.
I'm like, "Hey, I call skins." And like, no.
yeah,
I call this Jesse's essential oil.
But do you see that people are making a big fuss because her rookie contract in the WNBA. I think it only amounts
Like
to
300,000
something thousand. And they're like, but look at Victor Wembanyama's, who's like the new guy in the NBA that's incredible. And it's like someone did a breakdown of how much the WNBA brings in per year, and they were like, yeah.
They'd lose money.
They would
She's
lose
actually
money.
overpaid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the WNBA loses money. The NBA
Funds them.
Yeah, the NBA supplements their.
And so I saw this was great. People were like, if you're so worried about the pay discrepancy between the WNBA players and the NBA players, subscribe to the WNBA plus, whatever subscription for $37. And if you hesitated, that's why they don't get paid that much.
Also, didn't who has that 3-on-3 basketball league that he does?
The Big Three, Ice Cube.
Ice Cube offered her $5 million.
Dang.
To play in his league.
Should have taken it.
Should have taken
Take it.
Yeah.
But I'm convinced.
And he's smart because he knows she's a big.
Yeah.
The Final
It'd be
Four
a draw.
tickets.
It'd be a draw.
It would be a draw. People want to see it. I mean, she couldn't play against these guys seriously, and that's why if she's smart, she won't take it because it's going to make her look not nearly as good as she's
Cash
great.
out. Take the $5 and take cash.
Yeah, you're not
out.
going to make that much money in women's basketball.
In her whole career, she won't make
She's
that much.
great, and she is.
Yeah.
She's ridiculous.
I watched some of the games, and I've never watched women's sports, and I never will again. But, I was at B-Dubs one time, and I was like, the Caitlin Clark game is on
of
this.
all the women's sports, what's the one sport that you would not mind watching?
Jesse, be careful.
No, I know the answer.
I mean, volleyball.
Yeah, beach volleyball.
Beach volleyball.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Swimming.
Tennis, maybe. Golf.
Tennis is good.
Swimming. They're underwater, Jesse. I mean,
Yeah.
it's you know what I mean? You just see a wet.
No, he likes
Riley
the
Gaines.
synchronized swimming.
Riley
They're all-
Gaines is pretty attractive. The one that lost to the dude.
Leah Thomas.
Well, didn't lose to the dude.
I
They had
feel
the
like-
exact same time.
Yeah.
I feel like of all the women's sports, and I don't watch any, but the one that would be probably the most entertaining is maybe golf, because it's not obviously the women can't hit it as far as the men, but when you're watching on TV, you can't quite tell that. So maybe golf.
I sometimes will watch women's disc golf because it's on at the same, and it's like some of these girls I could probably do fairly well against them, but going back to the
Do you
commentary,
play shirts and skins in frisbee golf too?
you're not supposed to, but I'm a rule breaker. So
Is this all right?
that's the first question I ask anytime I walk into a room. Is
want
this like a shirts and skin situation?
Any room.
Any room. I walk in for dinner. Yeah,
When you went to the Marion Popcorn Festival meeting, the chair meeting or whatever, you're like, whose shirts, whose skins? Because I'm calling skins.
I'm going skin.
All right. That's a show, Jason.
That's a show.
I hope that people weren't too annoyed by the breakdown of Flint Lockwood
I
and
was.
whatever his name is. But it is what it is. All right. This is Dan signing off for Jason, reminding you to always keep your stick on the ice and never wear the blue sweats.
Sit, Bubba, sit. Good dog.
I have spoken. And people, tell me if you like me over here better, because if you do, we'll make it work.
No, we're not.
Okay.
Good night, Lauer Patch
That's
Kids, and especially you, Big Papa King on the X. He posted a picture of the Lauer Road sign, so he's trying to track us down, but we appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'd like to maybe meet you someday. I don't know,
Well, maybe we have.
but listen, if you're pro Dent Flibble, you can probably stop watching. Dent Flibble sucks. Can I change my sign off to I hate you, Dent Flibble?
It's your sign off.
All right. It's the worst. Oh, he's so bad.